Davison.com. Welcome to my Gingerbread and Peppermint online Stamp a Stack card class. Today is October 2nd, 2021. It is World Card Making Day, and we are going to make a whole stack of cards. Are you guys ready? In the video description, I have a list of the supplies that you'll need to join me for this class, as well as a link to the cutting template that we're using. So if you haven't seen that already, you can check that information out in the video description. It's going to tell you everything that you need. But if you're just watching today to craft later, then just sit back, relax, grab your favorite beverage. Right now, I am doing a little bit of prep work, die cutting some of the images from the Gingerbread and Peppermint designer paper. That's what we're using for the class today. And you don't have to have this done. You can always add these later. Let me do this last pass, and I'm going to share with you the supplies that you'll need in case you don't have them ready to go. So let me clear some stuff. Oh my gosh, I love our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. That's what I've been using this morning, I guess it's afternoon now, to die cut some of these images. Okay. So I do have kits together, and I have some 4 ready to ship right now and another 12 that are coming. So if you don't have a kit yet and you want to make these at a later date, you can use that button. I think there's a link in the video description for the information to get your kit. So this is what comes in the kit. If you're making cards at home, you can use what you have at home. This is what you're going to need. 14 card bases. So this is a half a sheet of cardstock, 5.5 by 8.5. I've cut it in half and I've scored in half as well. So I'm using Real Red, Old Olive, Cinnamon Cider, and 2 pieces of thick basic white cardstock. And then you're also going to need 6 sheets of designer paper that are 6 by 6. Now in the kit, I have included 12 sheets of the Gingerbread and Peppermint designer paper. That's one of every pattern in this 6 by 6 pack. This is new designer paper in the July through December mini catalog. Many of you may have this already, and especially if you participated in a product share that I did, then you already have all of these patterns. These are the patterns that I'm going to use today. If you're joining from home, you just want to have 6 designer paper patterns that are 6 by 6. That's what we're going to cut from. So I need to decide here which ones I want to use. All these papers are double-sided. I'm trying to look at my samples and see what I use. So many good ones to choose from. I think I'm going to go with these 6. So if you're using the same stuff at home, you can pick whatever you want. But I'm choosing a variety of patterns. I've got some diagonal stripes, some frosting, some have little cookies on it, some peppermints, some polka dots, and then the other sides have some other patterns as well. I'm saving and pulling out all of the papers that have these sheets to die cut from because I want to use them on my cards. You might choose to use, there are some really great patterns on the back side of those. So you can choose whatever you'd like. Your cards are going to look different depending on the paper that you use. So you need 14 card bases, 6 pieces of 6.5 by 6.5 inch designer paper, 14 envelopes, of course, to send your cards in. One step is making the cards, and the second step is sending them out. And then the other thing that comes in the card kit, and the other thing that you're going to need is coordinating ribbon. I have about 1.5 yards of Real Red ribbon here, and then some punched or die cut labels or shapes to do your sentiment on. So I'm using the everyday label punch, and that's what I've included in the kit as well. In the kit, I have pictures of all the projects, and then also the template. And this template, you don't have to buy it. It's free. It's in the video description right now. This was created by Stampin Up DDMs. DDM is Demonstrator Development Manager. They created this template in this instruction file. So if you're a demonstrator, you have access to this. Everybody has access to this because I put the link in my video description, but that's where it came from. I didn't create this, this template. And this is what we're going to use to cut. So if you haven't already and you want to follow along, then go print this out, the cutting guide and the instructions, because this is what we're going to use as we walk through the projects today. So there are, as we cut them, there's going to be 5 designs. 4. Yes, I think there's 5 different card designs. So we're going to just step through each one by cutting our designer paper, then layering it and adding the die cut embellishments and the tag. So let's go ahead and get started. I see your comments coming through. Hello, everyone. Hello, Cheryl and Nancy and Leslie and Nancy and Belinda and Deanne and Judith, Branda and Mary Ann and Bonnie and Belinda. I'm so excited that you guys are here. I would like to know, are you going to stamp along with me live, or are you just hanging out to watch and maybe you're going to catch up on the replay and stamp along? Leave me a comment and let me know. I'm going to try to go at a reasonable pace. So if you are following along, hopefully you'll be able to keep up. If you're watching on the replay, you have the luxury of pausing and, catching up and then, continuing on. But I'm going to try to go, not really slow, but I'm gonna try not to go too fast, I should say. So if you're following along and I am going too fast, just like give me a whoa, hold up, Julie. Here is the link. I think I forgot to share this. So here's the link where you're going to be able to reserve a kit, tinyurl.com/sept, SEPT 2021 SOTM. And this is where the button is. I think that link is also in the video description. I'm going to put it here in the comments super fast so it's easy to click on. This is going to be in the live chat, tinyurl.com/sept 2021 SOTM. That stands for Stamp of the Month. So I've been doing these free classes every month where I have, projects that I share and walk through. And so this month is a little bit different because there's so many cards. Usually we don't have 14 cards, but that's the beauty of a one-sheet wonder. Okay. Oh, I'm so excited. Several of you say that you're stamping along with me. Well, I think the first step that we should do is stamping the tags so that they're ready to go. So we're going to cut in just a second, but first let's stamp our tags. I'm using the Coordinating Frosted Gingerbread stamp set for this project. But if you've got the kit or if you're making cards at home, of course you can use any stamp set. If you're making cards at home, you may even be using different designer paper, perhaps some flowers or Halloween paper. Oh, you could make some cute Halloween cards. So I'm using Wishing You a Merry Christmas, and I'm going to stamp in Real Red ink. This should go pretty quick if you've got your tags pre-punched especially. Then all you have to do is just stamp on them. Wishing you a Merry Christmas. It's so hard to believe that it's already October, and with all the delays with the post office, I feel like we really need to mail our cards even earlier than usual this year to make sure that they get there on time. So my plan is to work on some Christmas cards. I don't usually get them out by Thanksgiving, but this year I think that's going to be my goal, is to mail them right after Thanksgiving so that they get there in time. That'll give them several weeks. Typically, I'm a very last minute card sender. And sometimes even I will purposely plan to send New Year's cards because I know I don't have time to get them out before Christmas. How many cards do you send for Christmas? Leave a comment and let me know. I know some of you have said that that number has kind of changed over the years and you don't send as many as you used to. Oh, that one has a little... I'm just going to punch a new one. See, that one's got some marks on there from the punch. So let me just get out a new cardstock piece. Like I said, this is the Everyday Label Punch, and I don't think I have the link in the description, but I will make sure that I add it. So if you want to get any of the things that I'm showing you today, you can purchase them in my online store at juliedavison.com/shop. And whenever you order $40 or more in my online store, you'll get a free gift from me at the end of the month and a little bonus project kit. So I'm starting to work on those for everyone who ordered in September. And thank you to everybody who did place an order in September during celebration. It was a busy month. Oh my goodness, it's going to be hard to keep up with all your comments. I'm going to try though. Many of you are following along. Oh, Leslie says she's doing housework. Yuck. I'm glad you get a chance to make cards later because it is World Card Making Day. Cheryl's going to stamp along as best she can. She might have to get some more supplies. Belinda's asking, can someone tell me if the kit has all the pieces? So yes, the kit that I put together includes the punched tags and the ribbon and the paper. So the only thing, if you get my kit, the only thing that you're gonna need is scissors to cut out the images, which are part of the paper that come in the kit. You'll also need scissors to cut the ribbon. You'll need your own stamp and your own ink, and then of course you'll need a paper trimmer to cut the designer paper. You'll need some adhesive like Stampin Dimensionals and Stampin' Seal, maybe some glue dots, and then that's it. Actually, I have the list right here. So the kit includes like it does not include stamps or dies. It includes the other, not the punch, not the ink. It includes the paper, the ribbon, the cardstock, and the punch outs, punched pieces, not the punch. Okay, you guys ready to do some paper cutting? Hopefully you've got your tags stamped, and we'll need to cut some more of those out to embellish our cards. But let's start with cutting the paper. I'm gonna put the card bases aside. We're using our paper trimmer, and I know this seems backwards. Actually, no, we can still do this. Okay, so with the paper trimmer, I would suggest cutting no more than 2 sheets at a time. Really, just it's designed for 1 sheet, but the designer paper is a little bit thinner than the cardstock. So I think you could get away with cutting 2 pieces of the paper at one time in your paper cutter. So that's how I'm gonna do it. We have 6 pieces that we're cutting today, and so I'm gonna cut them 2 at a time. 2, 4, 6, yeah. Mixed myself up a little bit. Okay, so the first cut that we're gonna make is at 2.5 inches. So this is a 6 by 6, just like our paper. And so I'm gonna put this in the paper trimmer, and I'm cutting at 2.5 inches. I'm gonna cut down, so 2.5 inches. I have the 3.5 inch and the 2.5 inch. I'm gonna put the 3.5 inch aside, and we're gonna keep a stack of the 2.5 inch. I'm gonna do all 6 of the papers. Like I said, I'm cutting 2 at a time. I'm doing all of them with that first cut at the same time. Okay, so now I have a stack that is 2.5 inches and a stack that is 3.5 inches. This half is for design 3 and 4, so I'm going to set those aside, and we're focusing on design 1 and 2 right now. Now the second cut is going to be, I'm working from the bottom here. Again, this is the side we've got right now. I'm working from the bottom because that says design 1. So that's the one I'm going to do first. So this piece is 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. So I'm going to stick these pieces back in the other direction and cut at 2.5 inches. So again, 2 at a time. 2.5 inches. I've got a square and then the longer piece. And the longer piece I'm going to set aside. Doing the same thing, 2.5 inches. And 2.5 inches. So for card design number 1, I have 6 pieces that are 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. And these are going to be the pieces to make the first 3 cards. So you can mix and match and turn your pieces upside down and decide kind of which pieces you want to use together. And there's really not like a right or wrong way. So you can do, these are both stripies. Oh, that's both candy. That's okay. Yep, see? There's not a wrong way. Okay, so the next thing, and like I said, I'm totally using this template as the DDMs designed it. So the next thing it says is to cut a slit that is 1 1/4 inch at and to the halfway mark. Okay, so here's where we're at in the template, and I'm gonna cut a line essentially like right in half, but not all the way. So I can do this in my paper trimmer as well. I'm going to line the squares up at 1 1/4, and then I'm going to take my paper cutting blade and I'm going to go down to 1 1/4. I'm using the measurements here on the side down to 1 1/4, and I'm going to do that for all of them. So this is what I have. I have a square that has a slit in it like this. Okay, this is definitely not something that I have done before. And of all the cards that we're gonna make today, this design is one that I feel most just not sure about. I feel like, well, the pieces are just really small, and so I'm not sure that I like the way this turns out. So we've got our sets. You should have 3 sets of squares that have the slit in them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put them, sort of feed them together. And then this is what the instructions say. We're going to fold back to create, it's kind of like a pinwheel design. And then you have all 4 squares showing, okay? I know I kind of did that fast. Let me show you again. We're going to take the slits that we cut, and then we're going to slide them together, the papers, so that you have one showing on top and one on the bottom. And then you're going to fold back the loose flaps to create this pinwheel design. And the card like this, it doesn't stay put together without adhesive. So you're gonna wanna add, let's add some adhesive. To adhere those squares together. And then also some adhesive to put those together. And if you wanted to, you could also glue down these flaps. I think that once we get our label on here, that it kind of covers up or takes care of that. But I'm just gonna go ahead and glue them down a little bit. I was kind of thinking, I don't know, is it nice to have them up a bit? Let's go ahead and do that one more time in case you missed it. We're going to slide the papers together. And then we're going to fold back. And let's do some adhesive and fold back. And maybe I'm not doing this right, but this is how I interpreted the instructions on the Pick 6 Wonder template. So we're cutting, mix and match, using the slits, slide 2 cubes together and fold back 2 flaps and adhere. If the cubes aren't the same size, trim the edges. Okay, we're gonna glue these together and put them on our card. I think the thing that saves this project for me, this card design, is adding some embellishments. So whether you're using the Peppermint and Gingerbread paper, or maybe you're using something else, adding some stamped images to accompany the designer paper pinwheel, I think helps to round out this card. I love the traditional red and green color of the Gingerbread and Peppermint designer paper. Real red and Old Olive are such a great combination for Christmas. So here's the pinwheel. You can have your punch tag right in the center, or you can make it off center. You can add some images like the die cuts. You can mix and match. We're gonna put these on card bases. So let's get out some card bases. I'm gonna use one each of the Real Red, Old Olive, and Cinnamon Cider. Now, if you're making cards at home, you could even use the same card base for each color, but I like using the variety so that you can get some different looks here. Let me, off camera, I'm pulling out my samples so I can show you this card design. I'm missing one. There it is. Okay, so here are the finished cards that I created with this layout. So I put them on the card. For one of them, I just added a little bit of ribbon, and then, you know, I did it sort of in a diamond shaped. On another one, I added a die cut in the center and the tag. And then on the third one, I did 2 different die cuts and a little bit of ribbon. So for this ribbon, I gave you 1.5 yards in the kit, but I would say cutting it into 4-inch pieces, you'll probably have more than you need here, but I just wanted to make sure that you had enough. So I would go with 4-inch pieces. I'm going to go ahead and just cut like a sample one with the ruler, and then I can use that as a template and cut more. This is really great ribbon. There are several different Real Red ribbons in the mini catalog, but I like this sort of satiny one. And again, this is from the annual catalog. It is item number 151155 if you're shopping today. Donna, you send 130 Christmas cards. Okay, so Donna, I have to know, are those handmade cards? I usually send for family and friends. I'm gonna tell you. I usually send photo cards, and one year though, for family and friends, I did handmade cards, and I also sent handmade cards to all of my customers, and so it was like, I think almost 300, almost 300 handmade cards. Oh my gosh, it was a lot, and I haven't done that many handmade Christmas cards in a while, so that's not typical for me. But I applaud you if you can do that many handmade cards. That's really awesome. Okay, I have cut all my ribbons, so now it'll be ready to go and easy to grab. So let's put some pieces down on the card bases and make some cards. So I've got three different color card bases here, and I love the idea of doing a little bit of the die cuts. So I'm gonna add, oh, I really need to cut more of these out, don't I? Yeah, let's go with these. So this is gonna go on the side. And I'm going to add, I'm going to go flat here with the ribbon. I'm going to use Stampin Dimensionals under the tag. That looks cute right there, but let's keep going and add some of the die cuts. I'm going to do a bell and a snowflake. Maybe I should have put these down first, huh? The queen of peeling up cards. That's me. Okay, card number 1 done. Next up, we have this one. And I'm gonna go like that. Put a ribbon down. Trim. More die cuts. These die cuts are going to make me hungry for Christmas cookies. Oh my gosh, I'm already ready for Christmas cookies. It is my favorite part of the season. Maybe not the favorite part. My favorite part is gathering with family and friends over the Christmas season, but I sure do love cookies as well. All right, for the green one, I'm going to skip the die cuts. And uh-oh, we have a card that's not quite even here. I'm just going to trim that. And for this one, I am going to just do that loopy thing I was showing you with the ribbon. You know what? I didn't leave any of them long enough to go all the way down, but I can still have it. Yeah, I can still have it be from underneath. So let's do this one vertically. And I'm gonna do a little bit of adhesive in the center and add my little, in fact, I'm gonna cut my ribbon the opposite way. Not quite straight. And and some dimensionals under the tag. Okay, cards number 1 through 3 are ready to go. How did your cards turn out? If you're using paper besides the Gingerbread and Peppermint, I would love for you to share your cards in Julie's Stamping Spot Share and Connect Facebook group so that we can see how your cards turned out. You know, even if you did use the Gingerbread and Peppermint, I would still love to see how your cards turned out because I'm sure they're a little bit different than mine. Let's do, I'm trying not to go too fast. You guys keeping up okay? Let's go next to, I'm gonna do a little fussy cutting while I give you guys a second to finish up that card. Now, some of these images in the designer paper have dies that coordinated. You saw me doing that at the very beginning. There's a star and an ornament and a snowflake and a bell, but a few of them do not. The mitten and the trees do not have coordinating dies. So I'm just going to take a minute to fussy cut a couple of these trees for the next couple cards. And if you are feeling like you can't keep up, you can always add your little images to the cards when you're all done. So you can just do the designer paper cutting and get it all laid out on your card, and then you can add the images and your tags later on. I don't want you guys to feel rushed because that's not what today's all about. Today we are enjoying the art of card making and paper crafting. Did you guys see I'm doing a challenge in October, and I'm doing this as a personal challenge, and I would love for you guys to join me as well. In October, I'll be sending out a card a day. So this challenge is called 31 Days of Happy Mail. And the idea is that you send and bless your family and friends with your beautiful handmade cards. Sometimes we get so focused on making the cards that we forget to send them to our family and friends. I know I'm that way sometimes. I don't always send the cards that I make. So I hope that you'll join me in my October challenge. Yesterday, I actually sent 3 cards, and today I am sending 2 more. So I'm an overachiever right now, but I still have plenty of time because October is just getting started. Okay, I fussy cut 2 trees. I got those in my bank. Let's move on and cut to the next design. So we're getting the paper cutter back out and looking at our chart. Design number 2 is going to use the leftover pieces from that first 2.5-inch column. Okay, so here's the piece. It's yellow on your cutting template, and according to the template, we're going to cut it in half at 1 3/4. So we're going to cut down the long way here, and again, I'm going to cut 2 pieces at a time. So this is going in the paper trimmer, and I'm cutting at 1 3/4. So I've got 2 pieces that are equal size. 2 more pieces, cutting at 1 3/4 inches. And the last 2 pieces, cutting at 1 3/4 inches. So now I have 12 pieces that are 2.5 inches by 1 3/4 inches. This is going to make 4 different cards because we're going to use 3 pieces on each of the 4 cards. So since I have 4 different card base colors, I'm going to use 1 of each to make this card. Now, I love this card design. In fact, I made this card design after seeing the DDMs do this class in the Demonstrator planning place. I made this card. I didn't do the whole template, but I made this one because I loved the layout so much. So for this card, we're going to mix and match and use 3 different pieces and sort of just like kind of stagger them. So you can mix and match the pieces that you want to create different looks, and since the paper has two sides, all of your paper is gonna look totally different here. So you can have a different array of your cards. Oh, that could be fun to do two of the same, but I think I'm gonna do, well, because this pattern is that way, this is going to be a vertical card. And really, any of these, you can make a vertical card. So you can do two that are vertical and two that are horizontal, or you can do however you'd like. So I think I'm happy with this. Your mix and match may look a little bit different, and because there's two sides to every paper, actually, I'm seeing designs that I didn't use, like this gingerbread design. In fact, maybe I want to move that over. Oh, or use this one. What's in the middle of that? Oh, that's that one. Anyway, there's not a wrong way. So once you pick your patterns, then you're going to line them up and put them on your card. So I actually like doing this one without any brown because I think it makes the other colors pop there. And then since the red is such a dominant pattern, I think I'm going to put that one on the green. And we'll do a red card base here, and that leaves this one for the white. I'm actually going to switch these since this has so much brown and not a white backed pattern. I'm going to put those on the white cardstock. That really pops. And that leaves this one for the center. That red is very doot. I'm rethinking the red. Let's switch those. Yeah. So this is going to be, oh, I like that one better. I know I didn't use this pattern, but I think I'm going to do that. Okay. So this, I switched these because I didn't like the red pattern on the red background, but you can do yours however you'd like. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do is to glue these down. So I'm gonna do one at a time and put some adhesive on the back. Traditionally, one sheet wonders use like one sheet of designer paper that's cut into different ways and then made different card layouts. And so I like this one because with 6 different sheets, you have so many patterns that you can mix and match, and your cards will look totally different and not cookie cutter, exactly the same. I'm so bad about keeping up with comments. Like, I need a little helper to read all the comments to me. I'm so focused on making cards that I'm not keeping up very well with your comments. Oh no, Sue says she's still trying to figure out how to fold those squares. So Sue, I'll come back to that in a minute and sort of just recap that when we're done with this card. It's not like intuitive, and when they're folded, they don't stay like together very well. So I'll show you again when we're all done with this one. Let's get through this card and then we can just flip back to that one a little bit. Oh, Marianne, I've got you doing fussy cutting. I love it. I'm not a big fussy cutter. I don't know. I don't feel strongly either way. I will fussy cut. I don't mind it, but it's not something that I love. I know there are some people who just love to fussy cut and will just sit in front of the TV and just fussy cut for hours. That's not me. Honestly, when I'm in front of the TV, I just want to totally veg and snuggle with my family and not be crafting. Okay, I am having a hard time like deciding. On this one, both of these, I had the centerpiece be in front, but on this one, I'm kind of layering it so that it is behind and they sort of like stagger on top of each other. So you can do it either way. There's not a wrong way. And again, any of these cards can also be vertical, so they don't all have to be horizontal. Last one for me. How are you guys keeping up? Like I said, I hope I'm not going too fast. All right. This one I think needs to have the white be in the middle. And if you don't like to have them staggered, you can make them more straight, but I kind of like having them all crooked. Yes, Melissa, if this particular set of cards turned out like cookie cutter cards, that would be appropriate because they literally are cookies. Okay, so now for this one, I'm gonna make, let's make two of them be vertical and two of them be horizontal. And so we can still add our ribbon like normal. So let's do that. And I'm trying to make it straight across. And then you can be simple and just have a tag, or you can add some die cuts. And for this one, I think I would make my die cuts be like on opposite corners, like that. Although that kind of like blends in with the paper. So I really need like another, I think another gingerbread in there. Wishing you a Merry Christmas. I'm gonna start singing and then YouTube's gonna flag me for copyright infringement. That happened once. Okay, here's another one, and we can kind of do whatever we want with our ribbon. So if you want to have a ribbon be more of like that little flag kind of thing, you can. You don't have to use ribbon on every card either. That's not a must. You don't have to have them on every single one. And dimensionals. Did you guys see the Double Wonder class that I did last year? That was also one that was created by DDM Shannon West at the home office, and those cards were so fun too. And that one we used 2 double-sided sheets, and so there weren't as many patterns like there are on this one. I love this one that there are so many more patterns to mix and match with. But if you're looking for even more card making, be sure to check out that class. That was a lot of fun too. Okay, 2 done. Oh, that one's not glued down. I guess that's not done. I love putting these like at an angle because it looks like ringing bells. Bells are ringing. That's a song, isn't it? Oh, so Eva, I don't know about singing. The copyright infringement was not from singing, but it was actually the kids playing their instruments. We did a little Christmas concert for family and friends, and so it was a private video. Like, it wasn't even one that I shared publicly, but automatically when I uploaded it, it was marked as copyright infringement for one of the songs. So it was interesting. Like, I hadn't thought about that, but well, I don't even remember what song it was. So they weren't singing, but it wasn't music. It was music, but it was played with an instrument and not sung. It wasn't like the original recording artist or anything like that. It was the instrumental, the instrumental version of the song. Okay. One was vertical, one was horizontal, and I think we were going to mix and match them here as well. I've run out of things to put on my card. I need to die cut some more, so I'm just gonna put these aside really quick. Let's die cut some more shapes. I should have had these done all in advance, and I apologize that I don't, but this should be pretty quick. Now the trees I have to fussy cut, but these do have coordinating dies. So we've got the ornament, and what else is there? The bell. I feel like we're so close up here. Let's zoom out a little. My zoom is actually adjusting the camera stand, which is not loosening up. Okay, never mind. We're not going to zoom. We just have an extreme close-up of the die cutting machine. So the Gingerbread and Peppermint Frosted Gingerbread is the name of the stamp set and the coordinating dies. So if you have the dies, then you can die cut from this paper. It fits those shapes perfectly. There's also stamps in the coordinating stamp set. You sneak that in there. There's coordinating stamped images that you can die cut, or you can die cut the images from the designer paper. But I love this paper because if you don't have the dies, then you can easily fussy cut and still use the images. I'm seeing a question about previous classes. Yes, I have a playlist of previous classes that are free like this on YouTube. So I will add that link to the comments here, that chat, in just a second, so that you can see. And in each of the YouTube videos, if there's a coordinating like PDF, some of them are for sale, then the link is in that video's description. Or if there's a free PDF like the one today, that's also in the video description. So let me add that playlist for you guys. I covered up my, I've got too much going on here. I covered up my keyboard. Okay, so let me just find that on YouTube under playlists. There's a playlist called Stamp of the Month Card Class. So this is, I guess this isn't all the free online classes. Here's the Stamp of the Month card classes. So these are free classes where you can follow along. I say the measurements in the video, but I don't actually have the measurements listed out because those have PDFs. There's another playlist. This second one is the free online card classes that are sort of like this. So the Double Wonder is in that second playlist. Okay. We've got 2 cards that are done, and this is design 2. We've got 2 cards that are needing some additional embellishing. And a tag. It's so weird sometimes when I do these classes because I just feel like it's so quiet. Like I'm the only one talking, and I see your comments, but it's still weird to be the only voice in the room. Let's add, oh, I already did the dimensionals on that. I hate that I'm covering up so much of the center paper here, but I don't think that there's any other way to do that. I guess up there a little bit. I'll just trim that. Also, I did not do this on any of my cards, but you certainly could add Stampin' Dimensionals to your, not Stampin' Dimensionals, rhinestones or other embellishments to your cards to dress them up even more. I did not choose to do that for these cards. I kind of just kept it simple. I felt like the pattern on the paper and some of these were already kind of busy enough, but if you want to decorate yours a little bit more, that's always an option. For this one, I think I'm going to leave off the die cuts and just let the paper sing because it's so pretty. Okay, this was design number 2. And look how different our cards look. Even though it was the same layout and the same designer paper, with the mixing and matching, it just looks totally different. In fact, let me get out my sample cards and see like how different. Let me pick these up and I'll show you my sample cards, which look very similar, but also different. Oh, here we go. Okay, those are the 4 I did before. So on these, I'm just looking, I used all gingerbread to like balance out the red and the green on these cards. Those look really nice too. I think I need to fussy cut some more and die cut some more shapes. Okay. Are you ready for the next design? Let's come back to our cutting templates. And we did this one already. Oh, I was gonna show this one again. And then design 2. So we've done this side and we're ready to cut the other side of our paper. So this is 3.5 by 6. But first let's just go back really quick and take a look at this one. I'm gonna pull out, I have some scraps of paper here. Ooh, I bet I even have some. This is sort of my baggie. I bet I have some more that are already cut out. All kinds of messy back here. Okay. I just want to go back to look at that design one with the cubes. So we want a 2.5 inch squares. This is just a rewind to explain the folding in that first design. Okay. Okay. Rewind to design number 1. We did a little cut at 1 1/4. We cut down the center. This is design 1 with the cubes, okay? So you have 2 squares that have the slit in it, and the first thing you're gonna do is slide them together. So when you have them together, they're loose, they're not glued down, and they line up on top of each other. And so the folding is going to be the loose end. So this is the end that is where the cut is. And I'm gonna cut that back, or not cut that, I'm gonna fold it backwards. So I'm folding it down onto itself. So when I do that first fold, it looks like I have, 3/4 of one paper and then the 1 of the other. Now I'm gonna fold this one up. So 1 folds down and 1 folds up, so that you end with 4 different squares. But when it's not glued together, this is what it looks like. So essentially you have your cubes and each one has 1 corner that's folded up or down. And then when you put them together, you have a square that has 4 different cubes. So I think it was Sue that was having trouble with that. Does that make sense, Sue? Hopefully that makes sense with design number 1. If you have any other questions, then let me know and I'll be happy to try to walk through that a little better. Julie, is it normal or does it happen that dies will bow? The long die in this set, the grilled one is bowing after 1 use. I would say it's not normal for it to be bowing. And when you mean bowing, I think you mean like normally a die is, right, it's flat, it's straight. And by bowing, I'm assuming you mean like it's bent like this. To me, that would indicate that maybe you're using too much pressure in the die cutting machine. And I would say check your sandwich and make sure that you're using the correct sandwich for your die cutting machine. So what do I mean by sandwich? Like in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, it actually gives you like the order of the plates on the platform. So for thin dies, you want to use the base platform plus the thin die adapter and two cutting plates. Now it's possible if you have an old Big Shot, and I'm going to show you really quick what that looks like. I think I've got one tucked away right underneath me. Okay, this is really old. This was from my first Big Shot, and it had several platforms. And so if you are using, you know, something that has multiple tabs, it's possible that you need to have just one and not two, or it's possible that you're using a plate that is thicker. Like we had a blue 3D embossing plate, and that one is 1/8 of an inch thicker than the regular cutting plate. So if you're using a plate that's too thick, you might be putting too much pressure on the die. So I would suggest if you have a die that is bowed, you could put it in your die cutting machine maybe overnight, like halfway through, so that it's having some even pressure, and hopefully it'll be straight after that. If it's bowed like a lot, significantly, then it could be another issue, but it is definitely not normal. I've die cut with these multiple times and they are flat, so your dies should not be bowing at all. New machine, new plates. Oh, Carolyn, I'm not sure what to tell you. Send me a message with a picture of it, and maybe I can have a better look and we can chat. Marianne's asking if it's pouring in Champaign. It's cloudy, but it's actually not currently raining. It was calling for rain, but it's just been super cloudy. I don't know that we've had a ton of rain today, but it looks like it could start pouring any second. You guys ready to keep making cards? Let's do some more cutting. So now we're working with the second half of the template, and we have design 3 and design 4. It seems backwards that they would do that. Like, I don't know why they didn't call the one at the top design 3. And so, you know what, let's skip. Let's skip to design 4, since that's the top piece. We're taking our designer paper that is 3.5 inches by 6 inches, and we're going to cut at 2 3/4 inches. So again, I'm cutting 2 sheets at a time because the designer paper is so thin, and I'm going to cut at 2 3/4 inches. So I have 2 that are not quite equal. One is a little smaller and one is a little bigger. The top piece is what we're going to use for design 4. The bottom piece we're going to set aside for design 3. So next, 2 3/4. The top one for design 4, the bottom one for design 3, and lastly, same cut, 2 3/4, the top for design 4, the bottom for design 3. That's going to be really super close. Nope. Well, I'm just trying to decide if we should cut this right now or wait. Let's cut this right now. So this is design 4. That was the top. We're going to set that aside and do that 4th, and we'll do this design 3 next. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to cut, it's right now, this is 3.5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. 3 1/4. 3.5 by 3 1/4. It's slightly wider than it is tall. And we are going to cut it at 2.5 inches. So that we have a little 3/4 inch belly band. So I'm taking this with the, and you can check at the top, it should be 3 1/4 inches. If you have it this way and it's 3.5, then you need to turn it. So this designer paper needs to be at 3 1/4, and we're gonna cut it at 2.5. Okay, so you have the little skinny belly band and you have the other piece. We're gonna do that with all of them, and double check before you cut. This one is 3 1/4 across, so I'm going to move it to 2.5 and cut. Double check again because it's so close. This one is 3 1/4. I'm going to move it over to 2.5 and cut. All right, that's the cutting for design 3, which is the pink one here. And for this one, we have, it says 6 pieces that are the bottom and 6 pieces that are the top. And for this one, we're going to mix and match and do 3 tops and 3 bottoms. So we're going to have our cards that are gonna be, I like to have contrast, so I'm trying to mix and match these a little bit. Oh, I like that. I also like the stripes though. Okay, for this one, since we have 3 different cards, I'm going to choose the color card bases: Cinnamon Cider, Old Olive, and Real Red. For this one, you're going to put, oh no, another one that's not scored quite right. That's okay, I'm just gonna trim that. So these are going to go at the top and the bottom, and then you're going to have a piece that bridges in the middle. I actually like mine to have a little bit more room, so I'm gonna space these so that they overlap, and then this in the middle. I like having that border all the way around, but you could go all the way to the top and all the way to the bottom and then put your belly band in the middle if you'd like. That's totally up to you depending on your look, and maybe we'll do one card that way so you guys can see what that looks like. So these pieces, you're going to mix and match and choose one to go in the middle. It can be whatever you like. I'm choosing ones that contrast well with the other patterns. And then that should leave these little pieces, and this is going to be for our bonus card. I will show you that in just a second. Right now, let's match these up with the card bases. I specifically chose patterns that are heavy with the red and green to go on the brown card, so that the red and the green don't blend in too much with the cardstock. So I avoided a bold green for this one, and I avoided a bold red one for that. Let's go ahead and glue our cards, let's glue our cards together. That's a great tip, Kathy, about running your blocks through at an angle. Oh, I really like that one. No, we are using that one. Okay. There we go. Getting myself confused. So what Kathy's talking about is, instead of running your die cut through this way, I'm going to show you on this platform. Instead of running it through straight like this, Kathy's saying if you can, angle your cardstock in there so that it's running through like this. Now sometimes that might be hard if you're doing a card that, you know, like this, but if you can even just a little bit rotate your card and go at an angle, that helps to put even pressure on the die so that it's not running through. Oops, I put the wrong thing down, so that it's not trying to cut the whole length at the same time. Where did that go? That was over here, I think. Okay, adhesive on the paper. Thank you, Kathy, for answering that. Okay, I like this pattern, these cookies at the top. I can talk. And then I'm gonna do the stripes at the bottom. And again, like I said, if you want, you can go all the way to the top and bottom, but I'm leaving a little bit of room. I like the border all the way around. And then the belly band is gonna go in the middle. And I'm actually going to cover more of the bottom paper so that the top looks a little bit bigger, even though they're exactly the same size. And for this one, I think with everything that's going on in this paper pattern, I'm gonna skip the die cuts on this one and just have the designer paper be the star of the show. If you want to, you can add some ribbon here. I'm trying to decide if I like it. I feel like that designer paper kind of acts like the ribbon, and if I add red ribbon there, I'm kind of covering up that center. Let's come back over to this card. Maybe for this one, we will go all the way to the top and the bottom, so I can show you what that looks like, if that's how you want to make your card. And I'm going to do, I don't know, I'm going to do the big design on the bottom because I feel like it's heavier. I always try to put heavier designs on the bottom just because that's like a natural place for a heavy weight to be. And then this is going to go at the top. I'm just trying to leave the same amount of space on either side, which is about 1/4 inch from the edge of the card. And the stripes are going to go in the center to cover up the gap. For this one, I think I am going to add some of those die cuts. So I'm going to add those down with regular adhesive and grab our label. I think this does need a little ribbon just to sort of off-center it a little bit. And maybe I'll have it be not off-center, but set it apart. Yeah, I like that. So I'm going to do a little bit of adhesive down on the center of the card and then add the ribbon down. Stampin' Dimensionals underneath the label. Oh, Kathy, thank you so much. If you are enjoying my video in this online card class, please do give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe so you can see more videos and more classes. I did a bunch of videos last week for my celebration spotlights. If you haven't seen those, definitely check them out. Lots of fun, different card ideas. Good morning, Rachel. How exciting. So let's see, if it's morning in Australia, that means it's already Sunday. So World Card Making Day is over. Did you make cards yesterday, Rachel? Raquel? Rachel. My screen is so little. I think it's Rachel. Okay, heavy design again. I'm going to put, oh gosh, I don't know. I feel like the red is heavier because it's a solid color. So I'm going to do that one on the bottom. And you know what? Let me take a second to compare the first two cards and I'll show you what I mean about the difference between going all the way to the top and bottom and layering so that you have the border. And this one, I feel like it can like completely fills the card. And over here, I feel like we have a little more breathing room. Which way do you like it better? Do you like this or that? Do you prefer having the border around your card, or do you like how it goes all the way to the top and bottom? There's really not a wrong way, and you can do some of your cards each way if you'd like. In hindsight, I think that I would prefer this card to be on a white card base. I think having a pop of white on the sides there really would make that card look nice. Since there's no other brown in here, I think it's a little, the brown looks random. So if I did this card over, I'm not going to tear it up. But if I did it over, I think I would put it on, I think I'd put it on white cardstock. Okay, I like the borders, so for this last card, I'm going to go all the way around. Yeah, it sounds like you guys do as well. I see Margot and Margaret both saying they like this one better. Trying to watch your comments. Sometimes it's hard to keep up while we're live. Okay, this one is busy. A lot of these patterns are very busy, but I think we'll offset the red and green by adding some of the gingerbread colored cookies. So I'm going to do 2 ornaments on this one at the top and one at the bottom, and add the ribbon and I do like that ribbon in the middle, even though it's covering up the paper. It's okay because the paper's kind of busy, so it needs a solid color down the center. It looks like you guys all like this better with the border. And if you don't and you didn't comment, that's okay. Oh, Carolyn, I'm sorry if I'm going too fast. She said she just got one card down, a different design, but using this set. I'm trying not to go too fast, and hopefully if you are stamping along, you can keep up with me. This is design 3. So this is the pink square down here. And then also that one as well. So that's design 3. We got 3 different cards, but actually we're not done because design 3 had 3 leftover belly bands, and this is what we're going to use on the bonus card design. So for this one, I saved a white card base. I got like a little glue goober on my finger. It's making it hard to pick things up. Using the thick white cardstock. Now I always, when I'm doing card bases with basic white, I like to use the thick cardstock because it's just a little heavier and not so flimsy. So if you're looking to use white card bases, I highly recommend the thick Whisper White cardstock. In fact, I have the item number right here for you. It is number 159229. You can purchase any of these supplies in my online store at juliedavison.com/shop. All right, so we've got 3 strips, and we're going to cut these in half. So they are 3.5 inches, and half of 3.5 is 1 3/4 inch. So I'm going to cut each one at 1 3/4 inches so that we have 6 different pieces. And we're going to mix and match these pieces to create a card. Let me show you. Here's a finished card from my other batch. So you can kind of see what we're doing. We're putting these pieces in the center to create a layout that has, oh, look at that. I like it. So the tricky thing is just sort of laying them out so that they're centered and then gluing them down so that they stay in that same kind of order. That looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to turn them over and add adhesive. Oh, I'm trying not to let it move. That looks about right from top to bottom. And so I'm going to use that as a guide. And when I'm putting these down, I want to make sure that everything is straight. So I'm going to, I'm placing them, but I'm not pushing down on the adhesive very much so that if I need to take it up and move it, I can. So I'm just sort of lightly pushing down to put them in place. And then the next set. And then after I have it exactly where I want it to go, then I'll make sure to sort of push down harder and burnish so that the adhesive is sticking to the cardstock. But first, let's make sure we get it placed correctly, exactly where we want it to go. And if we need to straighten it out or adjust it a smidge, then it's not glued down yet too permanently. How does that look? I think that looks pretty good. We've got about an even amount of space around the sides. So that was really just sitting there. I'm gonna give that a little push, 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 push. I'm gonna turn the whole thing over and then kind of give it a back massage and push down on the whole thing so that all that adhesive is adhering to the card front. Oh my gosh. I've got so much little adhesive. Oh, I need to just wipe this really quick. It's gonna drive me crazy. I keep catching things on it, which is so funny because I just was wiping down my table the other day. So I think this is all from today. Getting really sloppy. Okay. Oh my gosh, the sky is getting so dark. That rain is coming. Okay, now my desk is wet. That's pretty good. We're going to keep this really simple since there's so many patterns and they're so small. I don't want to cover anything up with a giant die cut. So I'm going to use the Stampin' Dimensionals and just add the tag right in the center. So really clean and simple. I love the way that card turned out. So this is from design 3. We have 3 that are top and bottom, and then the extra pieces are cut for our bonus card. Oh, Carolyn says she's doing different cards. Well, that makes me feel a little better that I'm that I'm not going too fast. I really want to try this template with some other cards or designer paper because I feel like it has a lot of potential to make some cool cards quickly. I think that's what's fun about this too, is that it makes it easy to make cards, a lot of cards very quickly. Okay. Oh, I want to share some of these. I was looking at my previous samples. So let me share those really quick. This is design 3. This was when I was working on my samples. And I kind of like the way this looks with the double trees. That was kind of a nice design, not so overwhelming. And here's what I did on the brown card. This looks so much better. Instead of having very red and green centric patterns, this one is more white background patterns, and I think it looks a lot better on the brown card. Let me show you this is the one I just, oops, that's the wrong card. Here we go. This is the one that I just did now, and the red and the green just feel overwhelming on this brown card, but it looks so much better here because I've got the brown cookies on the white background paper, and I think it's a lot more balanced. So I did a better job with my sample. And then I do love the trees. I think that turned out really nice. So there are my original cards using design number 3. I did enjoy it. I like those cards better. Okay, those go over here. Next up we have design 4, and I strayed from the original Pick 6 pattern here because as you can see in the template, it says hearts. And I wasn't so sure about the hearts. I don't have a picture of the original cards as they're designed from the DDMs, but if you download it from my blog, there's a 3rd page in the template that shows the original cards with different designer paper, and you can kind of see the hearts there. So I'm going to show you. I'm not going to do it with mine. I'm going to cut another one, and I'm going to show you what the heart is supposed to look like. And you can make them if you'd like, but I did something different with the pieces instead of making a heart. So let me show you what the heart looks like. This is 3.5 by 2 3/4, and this is just to show you. I'm not going to put this on a card. Okay, this is the piece. And so what they're saying is, okay, mix and match, cut a symmetrical heart, then cut another heart from the middle of the first heart, fold in half. All right, let's see. Let's see. So cut a symmetrical heart. So a heart kind of comes out like this. And then it says, cut a symmetrical heart, then cut another heart from the middle of the first heart. Okay, so, well, let me open this up. Oh, that's not a heart. We need to come back in, don't we? That's a heart. Okay, so there's our first heart. And then it's saying cut another one in the middle. So I'm going to go and just create like an outline here. That's about 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so I have my heart, and then the center of it, you can turn it around. And so this was the original idea of this design 4, is that you would take 3 of these pieces and create a heart, and then do that on your card and layer this or whatever. I didn't really like the heart, maybe because I suck at cutting them. So I skipped the heart. You can ignore that it says heart, and this is what I did with those pieces. So we have 6 pieces, and we're gonna make 3 cards. So what I did was I just mixed and matched these different pieces, and kind of just layered them on top of each other, one diagonal and one vertical. And then put them on the card. So I have 3 card bases left, one of each color, Real Red, Cinnamon Cider, and Old Olive. And so I think I'm going to do this one on the brown and this one. Oh, this isn't gonna work though, because then we have this really big red design. Bum, bum, bum. Doing a little mixing and matching. That works. Yeah, I like the stripes like this. Okay, so we get our cards laid out, and then we're gonna glue them down. So I've got those layers that are gonna go down first. One on the side, and this can also be a vertical or horizontal card depending on your image. Now this one, because the image goes horizontally, this one's going to have to be a horizontal card, because that's the way this image goes, because otherwise it would look funny. So I'm going to add an image. I want to add a little bit of ribbon. And add, I really like this paper, so I don't want to cover it up too much, but I think adding one little die cut is going to work. Okay, so there's card number 1. For card number 2, I have the stripes, kind of evenly spacing it on the side. And I'm gonna make this one be a vertical card. Hand-penned One Sheet Wonder. I'm gonna cut some more of these trees out. I'm just trying to figure out, Lori's asking about the card-based colors for the hand-penned One Sheet Wonder, but I don't think that's me, so I'm going to Jennifer. Okay, I'm fussy cutting some trees. These do not have a die, so even if you have the gingerbread dies, you'll have to cut these out yourself. And they're pretty easy to cut out. There's not a whole lot of intricacy. I'm cutting right up to the green border. You could leave on the brown border if you'd like. I feel like there's 2 schools of fussy cutting. You either cut all the way around the image, or you leave a little, like a little line. So here I actually included the brown, and then on the green one, I didn't. Again, there's not a right or wrong way. We have our label. Do those get washed out too much? Maybe we need a brown tree in there. I think there's a lot of white going on once you add the label. So let's get a gingerbread cookie in the mix. If you've got my kit to make these cards, there's a lot of extra designer paper that you're gonna have, because you get 12 sheets and you only need, I don't know, probably like 8 or 9 with the cutting of the images. So you can make some additional cards. I like that brown tree better. Let's do 2 of them. Let's cut out another one really quick. The other thing you could do, this is so cute, is you can cut this border and you could put that on the inside of your card or decorate your envelopes. I always forget about decorating my envelopes, but you could stamp coordinating images to decorate your envelopes. You can use some of the leftover designer paper to add to the envelope flap. So I'll show you that when we're done. This is our last set of cards. And then we're done with our 14. So I'll show you how to use some of the designer paper on the envelope flap. We can get out a stamp from the frosted gingerbread and stamp some peppermints on our cards. Cute, cute, cute. Everything is just like a little crooked. I kind of like that. And then if you don't do it exactly straight, that's okay too. Just gonna trim that ribbon. Oh my gosh, that's so adorable. I love it. No, we don't. That's too much. Okay, we have one more card. Let's bring in the cinnamon cider paper. What's this? No, I don't know. Yep, I think the red side, because the other side is just too busy with too many patterns. Too much pattern mixing. I have one more ribbon. So it worked out just perfectly. And one more tag. Oh, Margaret says she fussy cut for the half trees for the inside, she said. So I think I want this ribbon to go over the tree. I like that better. I'll show you in just a second on the designer paper. What a clever, clever crafter you are. So you can cut out these little half trees on the side of the paper and put them inside your card or even on your envelope maybe. So cute, so cute. I think I need to add another piece of white paper on the inside of these. Okay, there's our last card. So cute. I love they're so different, even though they're the same like design. I feel like they do look so different from each other. And let me show you. So these are the ones that we just created. Let me scoot them over and show you the cards I did, the sample cards. So on this one, I fussy cut the mittens. And then I added 2. I did add 2 there. It didn't look too busy. So very similar and very different. Those are the green cards. Those are the brown cards. Those are the red cards. Like, you could do this template even with the same paper and make something different each time. I love it. Okay, so let's go back and look at all the cards that we completed today. We made 14 different cards using the Peppermint and Gingerbread designer paper. Which design was your favorite? I kind of love I love the last one a lot with the going a different direction with that designer paper. It's kind of similar to this one, except we put that paper in the, oh, you know what? I also really love these with the 3 little panels. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. And I feel so accomplished that I got so many cards done. I hope that you enjoyed making all these cards along with me. And please, please, please share your cards in the Julie Stamping Spot Share and Connect Facebook group so we can see what you made. Now, World Card Making Day is half done or almost done, but next we have World Card Sending Week. So now all the cards that you've made, it's time to send them off. Don't forget to coordinate your envelopes with your cards. So let's get out our Gingerbread and Peppermint, our Frosted Gingerbread stamp set. I'm going to stamp, sorry, that was loud. I'm going to stamp some little peppermints in the corner. And then I wanted to show you too how you can add some of the, oh, I knew that was going to be problematic. Oh my goodness. Let's see if I can line it up. I recommend that you stamp on just one envelope at a time, not a whole stack, because the stack is uneven. So you're not going to get very good results if you stamp on top of a whole stack. Oh my goodness, that was silly of me to try. So cute, so easy to add something cute and fun and give your friends and family a little peek of what's inside the envelope. So stamping is one way to customize your envelopes. Another way is using the designer paper on the envelope flap or to create an envelope liner. So we have some extra designer paper, such as this piece here. And so what you can do, I think I like the peppermint side, is you can put some adhesive on your envelope flap. You can use a liquid glue as well. I'm trying to get close to the edges so that we don't have pieces that are coming up. So we're going to glue this down right up to the flap and then give it a good back massage. Make sure all those pieces get connected, and then we'll take scissors and cut around the envelope flap to cut off the extra. So cute. Oh my gosh. I love it, love it, love it. Well, I'm going to have to do that with some more designer paper. You don't need to watch me add designer paper to my envelope flaps, but that's one way that you can customize and use the rest of your designer paper. Like I said, I do have some extra kits still available. So if you would like to create these cards, you can do that at tinyurl.com/sept. 2021 SOTM. There's a buy now button on that blog post. And if it doesn't work, then that means that there's a waiting list. Fill out the Google form, and as soon as I'm able to make more, I will send you an invoice for the class kit. I hope that you enjoyed stamping with me today. Thank you so much. Make sure to give me a thumbs up if you liked this video, and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on future videos. Tomorrow at noon Central Time, tune in for Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie. That's my weekly video series with Mom. We'll be sharing some more Christmas card ideas using the Christmas Tidings stamp set and suite from the annual catalog. So tune in and see what we've got going on there, and make sure that you tune in for other videos every week. Until then, enjoy the rest of World Card Making Day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!